What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's this Antignarot back here on Trove patch notes. Today's episode is probably going to be a lot shorter than our usual patch notes because this patch is the post-pirate patch, and they have actually stated in the patch notes that this patch, as well as the one that's going to come out next week, because they're kind of preparing, like, after all the pirate thing and everything like that was already a big update for them, so they're gonna be slowing down with the patches. This one already didn't even add that much content, enough so that I actually have the page open right here on my second monitor, and I'm just gonna kind of read off the different things that it added as we just sail through the seas. I don't know what's with my jittery frame rate. Hopefully that doesn't show up in the recording. But from now on, I also want to take this opportunity to say, ladies and gentlemen, that I am going to try and have more Trove on the channel than just the series. So, like, you're going to notice today, this patch notes video is coming out sooner rather than later, and then later today, for those that catch this right away, our normal Trove series is going to be coming out. So anyway, this week in the next patch notes is smaller, and they say that there's next week's patch note is going to be even smaller too. So what they have that is new, because I'm just going to be reading off the list from now on, just so that we kind of get to... I'll figure a proper format for this. So anyway, new in the store is that the Chaos chests now have been re-rolled, and they actually have new items in them again. As far as adventuring stuff, when sailing... player direction on the world map is now based on where the ship is heading rather than our camera and where it's pointing. So you can kind of see on the map, our arrow is staying in a solid direction, but as soon as we get off of our boat, it turns around with our camera. So that's actually a little update that I didn't even think about. So that's really, really cool that they actually decided to fix that. Then on top of that, the maximum club size now goes to 750 members. Whenever they say notes like that, I'm never exactly sure. Does that mean the maximum amount of players that can be in a club or in a club world at one time? Yeah, so I personally am not exactly sure about that one. I'm sure someone's gonna know, and you'll probably see somebody pointing it out in the comment section below. So next we've got items. Shadow caches now drop one less Eye of Cthulhu when you roll a common result. So shadow caches are what you get from shadow arenas, and normally I guess they would give like 2 or 5 or something like that for a common roll, and now they're just giving one less eye. I guess they're gonna try and bring the economy back down a little bit. And here's actually, oh, never mind, there's a later note that's actually a pretty big one. Fishing lures now consume immediately upon casting. So there we go, we just lost our lure, which fixes an exploit. Lures are refunded on failed casts. So not when we do something like that, we don't get our lure back, but if we do something like this is not wasting our lures, is it? No, it's not. See? So that's really, really cool. Actually, I want to test that right now. Can we throw one in and then pull it out? Yeah, so it's on a failed cast, not on a failed... Yeah, and then as for all of our items, the reason that we have the pen block right now, as well as a couple golden shells and stuff like that, I know we didn't go into a dungeon or anything, is because they finally added the pen bar as a craftable pen bar. Not pember, not to be confused with the beautiful fire pen block. But they finally have last week they had these available through the Chaos chest as far as I know, and now they actually have it as a craftable mount. The pen bar, which is a pirate pen block, which costs a pen block 200 golden seashells. You get the golden seashells from doing dungeons in oceans rather than shadow key fragments and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure anyway. 500 glim, which is nothing nowadays because you get it by fishing so easily. And steed feed 250, which I don't have presently, otherwise I would love to show off that mount right now. I am actually in the process of getting our steed feed up right here, but first I gotta make some poop. Gotta make the fertilizer first. Now here's a big one that I noticed. Deconstructing shadow equipment no longer gives tentacles. So that's really, like, tentacles were already tough enough to get. People at the late game, I'm sure, probably get them quite a bit, but generally I never play in U5 and stuff like that, just because then I have to focus a lot more when I'm doing the videos, and I just like goofing around and stuff like that. So I guess that's going to make tentacles a lot more valuable, but thankfully we still have the tentacle tracked, so that's gonna make a little bit of a difference there. The cost to super randomize at the Chaos Forge, that's right, this one's actually another pretty big deal. The super randomization, which is right here, I never usually randomize or do any of the stat stuff on camera, but I've gotten some 8-star gear out of it. This is pretty much for the late game. A lot of, this is late game. We don't really get into this stuff in the videos and stuff, but pretty much it just makes your gear stronger, and it costs a lot. So they changed it so that the flux now is only 200 flux instead of 250. So that's actually really, really good, because as you can see, our flux is very, very low because, hello Death King, because I don't have enough time to get flux. Then bug fixes and polish. These are actually the last two patch note things. Fixed a bug where the wrong footstep and landing sounds were played in flowing liquids. Kind of irrelevant for us because unfortunately, unfortunately, Trove does not have good sound balancing. And I think a lot of that comes from me. Like, I've dealt with sound for years because even before I did Let's Plays and stuff, like, I'm a musician, so I know, like, proper sound balancing and management and stuff like that. So you'll notice in these videos and stuff, like, I have the sound effects very low because there is the loudest sound effect in the game is usually when you kill like 5 enemies at a time, and when you open a chest. Those sound effects are louder than every other sound effect in the game. So hopefully they'll fix that one day. I'm actually working on a little side project, but we'll get into that another time. And then last but not least, fixed a bug where you could get stuck fishing underwater. And I know that that is a big one because I know that quite a few people in the club have actually had their game crash from that and just kept saying like, oh no, fishing underwater just sucks and blah blah blah. But anyway, this actually already went a little bit longer than I expected it to, especially considering there wasn't that many patch notes. But as I said before, I'm trying to spread out our Trove content so that we can get more definition out of this game, you know? So it's like, I'm probably going to do this from now on where I'm going to read off of the patch note lists. So I am going to get a lot more efficient at it as time goes on. And you still get your taste of a full Trove episode today, ladies and gents. So thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I would also appreciate if you would smack that like button, share, favorite, and subscribe to join Team Pixel. Sign on. Stay epic, everybody.
Believe in yourself. Don't care